Canada pulling out of China-led Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. This is the Great White North Report. All right, last week Canada decided to halt all government-led activity with a China-led Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Canadian officials alleged the bank was dominated by the Chinese Communist Party. Duh. What do you expect? You know, how naive were we to think that anything that was started up by the Chinese Communist Party would be good? So Canada is freezing ties with the China-led Asian Infrastructure Bank while it probes allegations that it is dominated by the Chinese Communist Party, says Finance Minister Cynthia Freeland on last Wednesday. She did not rule out any outcome of the investigation, a clear hint that Ottawa could pull out of the bank it officially joined in March 2018. 2018, eh? We should have pulled out of this back when Kovrig and Spavor were arrested on some trumped-up charges. We should have pulled out of this thing when the CCP virus hit. That's how stupid and naive our government is. The bank's global communications director, Canadian Bob Pickard, said Wednesday he had resigned and accused the bank of being dominated by the Communist Party. Well, of course, any organization that has more than 5 employees must have a Communist Party member on its board. It'll be completely dominated by them. So there was a review. She herself stated that the world's democracies must work to limit their strategic vulnerabilities to authoritarian regimes. They must be clear about the ways such governments exercise their influence. Well, you don't join a bank led by them. So Picard worked for the investment bank for 15 months and on Twitter stated that his resigning was his only option as a patriotic Canadian. He claimed the bank was dominated by Communist Party hacks who were like an in-house KGB or Gestapo or Stasi. Of course they were. You can't say certain things there. The Beijing headquartered bank is one of the most toxic cultures imaginable, and you don't believe that my country's interests are served in its membership. Now, this comes at a time when the Communist Party is tightening control over China's government and pushing private sector companies to align with the party's development plans, which is not a good thing. Trudeau was the one who signed off on this for Canada, and opposition conservatives long demanded that Ottawa pull out of the bank, saying it's a tool for Beijing to export authoritarianism throughout the Pacific. So this isn't going to make our relations with China any better. And today, Bob Picard went on record saying Canada getting no tangible benefit from membership in the bank itself. Now, it should be clear that Australia is part of this bank, but the United States and Japan are not. There are a bunch of countries invested in it, but Picard is obviously not in China anymore. He's over in Vancouver. If he was in China, he would not be calling them out. You got to watch what you say over there, or you might end up like Kovrig and Spavor. So he didn't find a single tangible benefit to come back home here to Canada of what this bank does that is consistent with our values in a way that would benefit Canadians. So obviously there's nothing. He told that to Power and Politics host David Cochrane in an interview Monday. Wish I'd seen that interview. All we're doing with our membership in this bank is making China look good as a country able to do multilateralism. We are effectively supporting the Chinese image campaign to show that they are ready to assume world leadership. Yeah, world leadership into the gutter. And the CCP wields undue influence over the bank. Of course they do. They're the ones who started up. It's based in Beijing. Of course it's going to be riddled with them. The bank funds infrastructure projects around the world with a focus on Asia and the Pacific. Was created in 2016, headquartered in Beijing. 106 countries. The United States is not a member. And on their website, they have approved funding for 221 projects so far at a cost of approximately $42 billion. How much of that is Canada paying, I wonder? Picard was hired to improve the bank's image by emphasizing it's a multinational and multilateral institution. It wasn't, but it's not true. It's more in common with being a Chinese bank than I hoped for, Picard said. There's no openness, there's no transparency, there's no accountability, so they give bad loans. It's just like their debt trap diplomacy that they use. Picard also went on record saying that CCB members who work there receive reports from other party members working in other areas of the bank. Their goal is to make sure the bank's activities align with the CCP's priorities, and they form a separate power structure outside the bank's formal hierarchy, which means they can circumvent anything. And the Chinese government commonly exercises influence over Chinese businesses. If this bank is independent, multinational organization, that should not happen. Anyone who's worked there for more than a few months knows who the party people are. When I joined the bank, I was told that's a party person, don't cross the party people. Talk about a bunch of party poopers. Of course, the bank disputes the claim that it supported and empowered Picker to perform his roles. And then baseless and disappointing. No, it's probably true. Picard said he had a conversation with the president, Jin Linquan, a few months ago in which Jin expressed apathy about Canada's membership and role at the bank. Obviously, they don't care. Canada is not exactly a high priority with China right now. We're not seen in a positive light because of the recent developments over the past 5 years. China has a habit of letting people know in other countries where these countries stand in the hierarchy of the world. And he's just letting me know where Canada stands. Pretty much we are a tribute. They see us as a tributary state. They don't respect, China does not respect Canada. Period. So why should we respect them? So I had to pull out of this bank. I don't even know if we put any money into this. I hope not. Be a waste of bloody time. What can be better spent at home. Building up our military or something. Any Canadians out there, let me know what you guys think. Should we continue being a member of the Asian Infrastructure Bank, or should we pull out entirely? Leave comments in the comment section, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, this has been the Great White North Report.